Hi children, Namaste, good morning to all of you. I'm your English teacher from Prodigy Vidyalaya. I will be teaching English for you children. I know that this testing time, we have to do something with our knowledge children, because a farmer goes to the field, whether work is there or not, crop is there or not, but he goes to the field and works. Your father goes for every day for his work, but as a student, you have to be in touch with your subjects. If you are not in touch with your subjects, you will not be able to learn anything. So, it is time that these virtual classes are the ones that will keep us in touch with our knowledge and education. So, going far away from your education is not at all good, children. So, please listen to the videos and learn something. And we shall start with our AP textbook today, the first lesson. Before I start, in AP textbook we have 6 units. Each unit has got 3 subtitles or sub-lessons. They are named as ABC. And the first lesson is Peace and Harmony. Listen to this video and write the hard words and meanings and study them. Okay? Let's start the lesson. This is the first lesson in your English textbook, that is state book, Peace and Harmony. A reading. We will read this beautiful story and you will have to answer the questions. Okay? It's children, a lesson that will teach us about living together and respecting each other, respecting the family members, and sharing whatever we have. Hope we shall start this. Once upon a time, in a very thick forest, there lived many animals, birds, snakes, and insects. They all lived together happily. They roamed about the jungle and played together in the open fields without any fear. The peacocks were very proud of their dances, but admired the melodious songs of the cuckoos. The elephants enjoyed watching the fish swimming in the pool. The pythons, which were blessed with long bodies, spoke well of the fine fur of the flat-footed rabbits. The tiny ants, which were always busy, tickled the dark buffaloes. See how the animals in the open nature enjoyed living together. You know, it's a story about animals. Okay, these animals all, not only animals, snakes, birds, insects, all lived very, very nicely. And they're all really appreciating, each other and enjoying the voices of each other, and they lived very, very happily. This is what we need to understand. Out of their differences, though they belong to different class of animals and birds, but they all lived together and roamed. Roamed means walked with each other without any kind of doubts and suspicious thoughts. They all really lived very, very happily. Whatever skill and talent they had, they contributed for the group, and out of that they got entertained and they really enjoyed living together with each other. Okay, this is what we see. Even pythons are the longest snakes on earth. Okay, it's so nice to hear about animals appreciating each other. And do you really appreciate your own differences? Because the nose that I have, the color that I have, the hairstyle I have are entirely different from the other person. Did you anytime appreciate your friend? Or did you appreciate your mother? Because she is getting up early in the morning and cooking for you delicious things. Instead of giving your account of reasons for not liking the dish that your mother made, you still go on argue with your mother about the dish that your mother has made. See children, it is a time to think into ourselves, to introspect ourselves and find, are we trying to find fault with anybody? It's a big mistake. It is time to correct, my dear children. Yes, these animals in the jungle. Jungle means forest. As the animals in the jungle lived together, appreciated each other, and lived and roamed together. That is the way we also need to live in the society. Out of our differences, we must live together. That's why India also always says to its citizens that we should live like unity in diversity. So there are a lot of differences, but we should all live like a unified Indians. Now, the second paragraph, they often held musical evening in a large open field. The elephant and the deer danced. The miners and the parrots sang. The tiger and the bear exhibited gymnastics. They called the moon and his friends, the stars, to the huge guests of honor at their musical evening. So these animals, like as we have celebrations, like different festivals, we hold a lot of celebrations, musical organization, orchestra, and all that we organize. Likewise, these animals also, animals, birds, snakes, insects in the forest held musical instrument, and their guest was one. Do you know who is that guest? The guest is the moon. Okay, with such kind of entertainment, musical instruments and musical dances and all that, they were really appalling themselves with a lot of happiness and so on. They were really celebrating life, my dear children. Are you really ready to celebrate your life? It's a big question. Think for yourselves. Now, third paragraph. One day a jackal entered the forest. So now here comes the spy in the forest. Even in the society also, there will be some stupids, some rascals who seems to be acting like a very good persons, honorable, respected people, but then behind the curtain, they will be damaging the society. Likewise, there is a new character here. A special name is mentioned, that is Jackal. Jackal means the fox, the cunningest animal in the forest. He entered the forest. How was he? He was dirty, dangerous, and very cunning too. He told the elephants. Now he started first. The forest met the elephants, and he said, "You are the biggest animals in the forest. Why do you want to play with the squirrels and rabbits?" "What, elephants? You are so big. And how funny it is to see that you are playing with smallest things of the forest, that is squirrels and rabbits." So likewise, first he poisoned the minds of the peacocks, saying, now again, after meeting the elephants, he went and met the peacocks, saying, "You are the loveliest birds in the forest. Why do you want to praise the miners?" The jackal then approached the deer and whispered that the tiger was waiting for a chance to kill them. Immediately, he met the peacocks and said, "Why are you appreciating miners and other animals? You yourself looking so beautiful, and there is no other thing comparable to your beauty. And why do you appreciate other things?" Then he said, "Dear, hey dear, my dear friends, lion is waiting to kill you. The tigers are waiting to kill you." So in this way, he started elephants, peacocks, and deers, and he started poisoning them. So that way he started poisoning, and it has become a kind of devastating situation now. Nobody is able to believe. So till now, all the animals in the forest lived like a family. Now the family bond is broken. Nobody is able to believe the other person, trust the other animal, because the jackal, how is he? He is very dirty, cunning, double-minded, secret-minded, and he is a spy. He wanted to spoil this living together of all animals. So he started poisoning the animals' minds. This is what we see in this paragraph, my dear children. Now going to the next paragraph. Gradually, all the animals began suspecting one another. So now they started doubting the other birds, other insects, other snakes, and other animals. Earlier, they had lived together, slept together, roamed around the forest together. Now they started to put up boundaries and build fences around their properties. See now, before they lived together, they sat together, they ate together, they slept together, they spoke together, and they enjoyed and played and danced together. Now what happened? They started constructing boundaries, making compound walls. Okay, so they moved about individually and with their own group. So now they started, individualism started and groupism started. Before, they were crossing these limits like differences, groups, and so on. Now elephants only one group. Then birds, only birds one group. Likewise, there was a kind of groupism. Before, they all, like squirrels, elephants, monkeys, snakes, all lived happily. Now snakes formed their own group, squirrels formed their own group, peacocks formed their own group. Likewise, they started, living and going with their own group. And now it was easy for the jackal to hunt the smaller animals and the birds. See the mindset of the jackal. He started breaking the relationship between all the animals in the forest. And why did he do all this? He did this with only one single intention, that is, getting his daily food. He wanted to hunt the smaller animals. When people are united, nobody can break them. Nobody can do anything. But when people are divided, when a nation, children, isn't it? If our family is very strong, if our uncle's family, our grandfather family, our brother-in-law family, whoever it is, our relatives, if we are all united, can anybody break us? Can anybody come to fight with us? Can anybody challenge us? No. So when that relationship breaks down, any fool will come and argue with us, challenge with us. So likewise, jackal did the same. He broke the relationship between all the animals. One by one, the little ones disappeared. So slowly the jackal started eating the smallest animals in the forest, and the animals are able to sense that some animals are missing every day. The forest slept as the animals were afraid. So now what happened? Forest was so calm, silent. Forest is not happy. Forest slept because no animal is coming and playing with the trees and so on. And they were not like they were living in their own dens and caves and so on. They were no more musical evenings. The moon was sad. He cried. And one of the chief guests for the musical evening of the forest animals were the moon. And the moon is very, very happy. Moon is finding it difficult. Oh my God, what is this? I can't see my beloved friends coming and playing with me. So moon is very, very happy, and it started crying. Moon started crying, children. The moon thought for a while and decided to come down among the animals and the birds as a sadhu. And suddenly there is a chief guest. Before, in the beginning itself, all the animals for their musical evening, they invited solemnly the moon. And now the moon is not happy because no musical evening is happening. So he was very, very sad, and he decided to do something. He decided that I must get down into the forest and do something for these animals. And he thought for a while and finally decided to disguise himself as a sadhu. Sadhu means rishi, muni, whatever it is. Okay, that's what. So now the moon wanted to become like a sadhu and come down to earth. Okay. Now, as soon as the sadhu appeared in the forest, the animals and the birds approached him to narrate their tales of woe. They cried, sobbed, and blamed each other for disturbing the peace in the forest, and the sadhu listened to them. Well, as soon as all the animals, birds, and snakes, when they saw the sadhu, they ran to him, and even they were not happy. Why? Once upon a time, we were all living so happily. There was a good communion, but now there is no communion. There is no relationship. We are all doubting each other. So they went to the sadhu and said, there is some kind of curse in the forest. We are not able to live happily. Do something, dear sadhu. And sadhu started to listen to their sadness, pains, problems, and everything slowly. He started to listen to them. Okay, the sadhu brought together the lions, and the rabbits for a common meal. He visited the python and the viper and had a long chat with them. He advised the eagle not to attack the little chicks that had lost their mother. The sadhu accompanied the tiger and the wild bear to the nearest market. He played with the bulbul and the owl and the monkeys. So you hope. See, again, sadhu, what did he do? He started bringing the animals together for a kind of what? Did you hear before when I was reading the text? Yes, for a common meal. He brought all the animals for a common meal. Okay. But the jackal was very angry with what the sadhu was doing. He did not want the animals to live in peace and harmony. So he was waiting for the opportunity to attack the sadhu. One day, the animals, insects, birds held an emergency meeting and they unanimously decided to approach the sadhu and pleaded with him to kill the jackal. The sadhu said, I will not kill the jackal, but will help you in a different way. See, children, how beautiful this story is. Hope you are all understanding, right? It's not so difficult. It's a very, very easy and entertaining story. It is a lesson that teaches us about respecting the other people. See here, once the sadhu, who is sadhu here? Is he a real man? No. He is not a real man. He is the moon. And why did moon come to the earth? Because he was very sad to see that all these animals are not able to live very, very happily. And they're not inviting him for the musical evening. So he was very sad. That's why he decided to come down. And once he came down, he started, bringing all the animals together, talking with them, telling them, and he arranged a common meal. He took them to a marketplace. And, this is the way. So children, when your friends are also not in good terms, when your friends are very, very angry, when your friends are not, speaking, what do? They are not talking. What role I have for with them? Please do not think like that. Even if your mother and father is not speaking, you have to do something. Children, you need to do something. You should take responsibility. So if your family and your uncle family is not talking, or your grandparents' family is not talking, as an educated student, as a student who is coming to school and learning a lot of values, you must do something. Don't worry about you are a big or small. No. Think and do good. And tell your parents also, keeping something that is anger, keeping something that is not, that does not give us peace and harmony, we must wash it away. So children, please break any kind of boundaries that you create between your relatives. And that's what the sadhu was doing. Okay, but what is happening in the forest? There is this jackal who was observing, and he was very angry. What are this fool is doing? I started dividing these animals, and this sadhu who has come from nowhere, he started again making them friends. I must teach him a lesson. I must kill him first. So the jackal had its own plan. One day, all the animals, immediately all the animals, birds, snakes, pythons, animals, everything together, met for or called for an emergency meeting and said, oh my God, we must do something away with this jackal. This jackal is really disturbing the peace and the harmony in the forest. And they came to the sadhu and started crying, dear sadhu, please do something. Please do something. You have to kill this jackal. It is actually breaking our relationship, breaking our friendship, breaking our family communion, and breaking that integration, unity. Please do something. What did sadhu say then? No, I will not kill sadhu, but I will teach him some other lesson. Don't worry. Okay, so children, in the same way, in our class, in our family, in our village, if there are anybody who is creating nuisance, we have to teach them a lesson. Remember that. Now, when the sun went to sleep, the jackal came to the house of the hens to take a few of them for his supper. Can the sun go to sleep? Yes, it can go. That is sunset. which means in the evening. Evening when the dark has arisen. Okay, when the darkness has come, immediately what happens? It becomes nightfall. It becomes nightfall. And that is the time for the jackal. He came for the little hens to take them some and eat them. The sadhu who had been lodging nearby, lodging means hiding nearby, came out of the house and spoke to the jackal. Take me today for your meal. The jackal, who had been waiting for this opportunity, dragged the sadhu and ran into the jungle. He took the sadhu to a lonely place, tore him into pieces, and ate him up. The animals were very sad, angry, and disappointed with what had happened to the sadhu. They were afraid that the hungry jackal would appear again the next day. Then they heard a strange noise. All of them ran into that direction. What they saw surprised them. They saw the stomach of the jackal growing bigger and bigger. It continued to bloat until it burst. Then they heard the jackal groaning bigger and bigger. It continued to bloat until it burst. Then they heard a soft voice. May my animals, birds, insects live in peace and harmony. May there be no fence around you. May you sing and dance once again. Remember me and be not afraid. Okay, so when the nightfall came, the explanation goes again here. When it is darkness, that time the jackals came for some chickens. Small hens are there in the villages. Surely there will be. He wanted to take a few of them for his meal. And there is a man who is hiding. And the man's name is Sadhu, right? Yeah, Sadhu was hiding, and immediately he came out from his hiding place and said, Jackal, please stop taking those little hens. Today, rather, you please take me as your food. And was he happy, Sadhu? Jackal, was he happy? Yes, he is very happy. He was, almost looking for Sadhu to kill and tear him. Immediately, he took him into the forest, dragged him, tore him into pieces, and ate his entire body and enjoyed. He was very, very happy and filled his stomach. He filled his stomach. And when they heard that the jackal had taken the sadhu for his meal, all the animals were very sad and they were sobbing. What is the meaning of sobbing? Sobbing means crying. They were melancholic. Melancholic means they were very, very unhappy and they were crying like anything. And suddenly they heard a big noise from the direction of the jackal, which has taken Sadhu to eat him up. And you could hear a big noise from there. And when the animals and the insects and birds, when they heard such kind of big noise, immediately they all ran towards that direction. And they could see something strange in that direction. What did they see? They saw that the jackal was growing bigger, bigger, bigger. Too big it is. So big it is growing. And it has grown bigger, bigger until it exploded, until it bursted out. When this jackal got exploded and bursted into pieces, they heard a soft voice. What did that soft voice speak? May my animals, birds, insects live in peace and harmony. May there be no fences around you. May you sing and dance once again. Remember me and be not afraid. Okay? So please, my dear animals, birds, insects of the forest, please, you live happily. You enjoy, dance together. You appreciate each other. And please do not be afraid. Just you remember me. Okay, what these beautiful words could you see, children? Such a beautiful words, right? In the same way, children, whichever class you are studying, you must develop good friendship with everybody. If you have any kind of quarrel, fighting argument with anybody, please speak up. There is nothing going to happen as good if you keep something that is not good in your heart and mind. Never keep anything that is bad in your mind, children. Always you must make your heart and mind be filled with peace and harmony. That will really help you to live and enjoy your life very happily, children. Even in your family also, you must become a sadhu. Sadhu to clear all the arguments between you and your brother or your sister, between your mother and father, between parents and children, between your family and the neighboring family, between your family and your relatives. Did you any time take up the disguise of sadhu to clear all the arguments and problems of your family or of your class, of your own life? Please think for yourself, children. When they looked up at the sky, they saw the moon shining brightly, spreading milky brightness over the earth. The animals once again started to roam, sing, sleep in peace. They broke down the fence which they had built. They invited to the moon, the stars for their cultural evenings. So, children, once after the jackal was dead, they looked up into the sky and they saw milky moonlight is spreaded over entire earth, and they were very cozy and happy, so happy they were all. Now they broke up all the compound walls, all the kind of fence that they created, and the doubts they have shattered, and they started living together very happily. They started singing together. They really enjoyed and made their life very, very beautiful, children. So, children, it is your and my responsibility that we must also become like sadhu. Sadhu for what? Sadhu not for teaching religious aspects, but clearing our own problems of our family. And we must always observe everybody and think about who is the real fool, stupid, who is trying to break the relationship with our friends, with our family members, with our neighbors and relatives. So, when we do not have any kind of quarrelings, arguments, then we will live our life very, very happily, children. So, hope this lesson is very interesting and very happy. Thank you, children, and please listen again and again. Thank you.